を締め切った後あの向こうまたあなたが泣いているあんなことしたくなかったって今更思った起きた君のこと忘れてた花開いたマントを強すらいか言われた心水にさらした痛い痛い切り傷歪んだ逃げ水きっとうまくいくはずだった今日が終わってねえ何が悲しいのねえ何が苦しいの全部わからないけどこの足は動かない立てないままで崩れ落ちた生活で消えたり間違えたのも急に気しないことで生きていくからいい意味なもので日々していくから無力な口がまた頼りをやめ失乱を込めたりボロボロが前でよく負けきてつもかれあまりにも不評なエンパスまた怒ってるとは言えないままだって誰も傷つかないのがいいや揺れる東京都3カ所こっからはどうやら雨予報知りたくないでしょこんな感情を二度と私人生だと踏んでたのって騙されて積もってるの私をせいなが楽しいって迷ってから骨とペナリ出せなサイレン諦めた目になれたきらめいた幻だ続ける病棟の窓ある日壊れたならどうしたらいい大丈夫かどこにも見当たらないの僕だけを沈めてく呼吸気しないことで生きていくから無理やり皆もで日々していくから生活の中に投薬を探す時の今方がこの世界にあるならよくあげきてつもかれあまりにも不評なエンパス
Ain't no saving me, ain't no saving me, oh yeah. You ain't no saving me, ain't no saving me, oh yeah. Nah, nah. Ain't no saving me, ain't no saving me.
Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to Just a Summer Tournament. We have finally gone through the first week of this tournament with qualifiers getting out of the way. And with me commentating is going to be none other than Poppy. Hello.
Yeah. Time does fly pretty fast. The weekend of qualifiers is over, so in just a summer tournament, we are going to be just about to have our qualifiers results. I am currently looking at the sheet right now. Things are getting quite interesting, and a lot of the players have done exceptionally well on a lot of the maps. This map pool is, I would say, fairly difficult, especially onto the later stages, and yet players have done absolutely crazy accuracy scores across all the players, so I'm quite interested to see how they're all going to perform in playoffs and the future bracket rounds.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I guess before we get on to the results, I guess some good things to note is that we did have 93 players technically play, although 3 players did not play a full run of qualifiers, so they will not be able to qualify, meaning that everyone who did play a full run of qualifiers will be qualifying. which also means that seeds 27 and 90 will be moving on to playoffs, while the bottom 26 will get a bye for this week.
Yeah, so seed 1 to 26. You guys can chill for a little bit pretty much, or until like the round of 64 map pool or round, I guess. Whereas for seed 27 and beyond, you guys would have to be careful with what you guys have to face in the playoffs. So, but that is gonna be after the results. So, the time to dive in.
Yep. Then let's go to seed 93, who will not be qualifying due to the not 4-1, playing only stage 1, Astatine 9990, with only one score.
Yeah, these are like, how can you only play one? Okay, I mean they probably just jumped in and then just could not play the other maps for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's nothing really to say. I mean, they have only one score.
Well, what can you do?
Yeah, nothing much that I guess either side can really control. We can move on to the next seed, which also did not qualify due to not a full run, only missing 2. This can be Valorant.
I think we can try to like just skim through these early ones though. Like, yeah, like you said, couldn't play all the maps means you are not even eligible to play for the future. So
yeah, a bit unfortunate. But we could move on to seed 91, which, believe it or not, will be qualifying. They did play a full run, which it sounds a little bit confusing, but you'll kind of see it in a little bit. But being our first qualified seed 91 is going to be none other than Adrian Laser himself.
let's go.
Adrian Laser has qualified.
We have, I mean, yeah, you have a 100% qualifying rate. So like basically anyone who has played the map pool throughout will be able to play. So that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, not too much to say for Adrian. I mean, definitely not getting the highest scores in terms of seedings. I mean, you can tell by the seeds. I mean, average of 90, 90, and 91 in terms of Rice, Ellen, and Hybrid.
Yeah, just, I mean, to be fair, this map pool being quite physical, it's difficult for ranks below around 6-digit players to really get a good comfort on these kind of maps, so understandable on that part.
Yeah,
Congrats on qualifying though.
Yeah, let's go, Adrian.
Let's go.
Move on to seed 90, who, well, I guess we'll just say we'll just skip the kind of part where everyone qualifies until we get to the last person who didn't qualify. But next up at seed 90 is going to be Gamer Chris.
Yeah, Gamer Chris did play the full run, so they are going to be able to get in the playoffs. You do see the map that's standing out the most would be stage Rise 2 or stage wait, no, yeah, Rise 2 is stage 4.
Oh wait,
stage 4.
Okay, I'm not sure what happened to the laser results. They're kind of screwed up, but it is stage 2.
Oh, the Rice Island Hybrid is not the thing.
I don't know what happened there. The numbers are correct. It's just the placement, I guess. But it's fine.
Stage 2. That was stage 2.
Yeah, the numbers are all correct. It's just the order, so I guess don't mind it too much.
Oh, okay, I get it. So it's still stage 1 to 8 from top to bottom.
Yeah.
But it's just not Rice, Ellen, or Hybrid for all of them.
Yeah, it's fine though.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, their stage 2 score is the one that's standing out the most, but other than that, doesn't really have too much of a grip on most of the maps, unfortunately, but it qualifies to qualifying, right?
Yeah, qualified, and the pool does get easier compared to qualifier, so there's still a chance.
Yes. Best of luck. Moving on to seed 89.
It is going to be I Quit W.
I quit.
You did not quit, indeed.
Did not quit. You can tell that still struggling a lot more on the later side of things, but you can see their early game is much more consistent, 600k above on stage 1.
Yeah, surprisingly, their stage 7 is their highest placement at 89.
Yeah. I mean, stage 5 was it? I mean, stage 7, I mean, stage 8 or stage 7, those are like more very physical effects. You kind of have, if you can, I don't know, if you kind of mash through the entire dense balance, you can get a little bit higher score maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but we can move on to our seed 88, which is going to be Yunana.
Now I'm gonna be showing more, maybe A rank or A rank choke scores probably. 600k towards the first 4 stages, ranging around 86 to 89th place. But their late game is also not too bad in terms of ranking, definitely higher than the ones that we've seen before. 83rd, 84th on stage 8 and 6 respectively.
Yeah, I mean, they have a top 90 in terms of like older placements, so it shows a little bit more kind of consistency overall.
Yeah. Best of luck, congrats on qualifying. So moving on to seed 87, gonna be
I don't know how you pronounce this.
Chun Gov. Close enough.
Yeah, but, I mean, you can kind of see the scores get a little bit higher in terms of like early game with a 737 on stage 2.
Yeah, you can kind of see like the gradual increase in scores, at least on the early game side. 700k entering. Seed 81 on stage 2 is the one that's standing out the most for this player. I don't know how to pronounce the name, I'm sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, nothing too much to say. I mean, obviously the score increases, but I guess with that out of the way, let's move on to seed 86, which is going to be Kebab Killing.
We are entering our first 800k mark of stage 1. We're going to be seeing more consistent higher accuracy scores in the early game once again. Again, the gradual increase is still being in play in these lower seed players, so
yeah, kind of interesting to see the kind of, I guess, Rice Ellen balance being kind of there. I mean, it is like around like 90k in terms of like how far stage 1 and stage 2 are, but it is something, I guess, interesting to know.
yeah, for sure. Best of luck to Kebab. Moving on to seed 85 now. Let's go with Breaker 1233.
You kind of see the opposite in this one, with stage 1 definitely being a lot higher, but that stage 2 tanking a lot more.
Yeah, definitely more comfortable on the right side. I think 80k is probably at least 96% if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
But the LN side is a little bit more. Yeah. The LN side are a little bit lacking though, unfortunately. Not gonna be enough to match their right scores. Nonetheless, qualifying is qualifying. Congratulations to Breaker.
Yeah, and then we're gonna move on to the final player that didn't qualify. It is gonna be Venus PBL, where you can see they didn't play the last 2 stages, despite having decent potential.
Yeah, you can tell they're stage 1 and 3 and 4 as well. They definitely have pretty solid scores throughout. You can tell 850k, 930k from stage 1. Pretty solid, but just for some reason didn't play stage 7 and 8. Not gonna work out.
Yeah, not too sure the reason behind not playing the last 2. I mean, I could see them getting in the like 70 range. I don't think so. I mean, there's no fail and always the
there's no fail, yeah.
always the second round.
Not too sure, but yup.
Nothing you can really do, but let's move on
Yeah.
to C83. Pino playing Osu. Basically a
Can see
little bit
their
stronger.
early game is definitely much more consistent as well, even better than C84. So 938k on stage 1 is the most commendable one. Other than that, stage 4 also pretty solid with a 77 there.
Yeah, I think like almost like a 95 on stage 7, or maybe like a 95 with just not a lot of combo.
Yeah. Also, stage 7 too. That one is like really good, yeah.
Oh yeah, I meant stage 7. Whoops. Yeah, I mean, definitely a lot more leaning towards the right side, so it might be interesting to see how they do with like these easier pulls. But LN hybrids
Yeah,
are definitely
exactly.
something that's gonna kind of tank them, especially in a match setting too.
Yeah, playoffs map pool. It does have Ellen hybrids. Crazy, I know. But yeah. Moving on to seed 82.
Raji, 17001.
Wait.
Not too sure how you pronounce it.
This one, in terms of ranking, it's definitely much more consistent. 80, 81, and 82. Their highest score being in stage 5 at 868k with 81st there. Their highest seed is actually at stage 7 with 80th.
Honestly, what's really surprising is their stage 4 score is higher than their stage 1.
That's interesting to take a look at. I mean, stage 1 maybe is like a more unconventional type of map for players who are relatively newer to tournaments because this is the Livia map, right? It's where
Yeah.
everything's very dumpy with awkward staffing. It's maybe not the easiest map to get accuracy on if you're new to tournaments.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of an interesting thing to look at.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, but let's move on to C81, which is going to be Funky Gamer.
Funky Gamer gaining their spotlight on stage 2 and stage 6, I think, yeah.
Yeah, Ellen's
The
doing a
stage
little bit
8 is
better.
also not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, these first are good. I'm just wondering what happened with stage 5 and 7.
Just not the most fond of the stamina or density that was faced in stage 7. I do remember stage 7 being very trilly and dense for a 260 BPM jump stream or hand stream map. So
Kind of interesting, but I guess we could move on to C80, which is going to be GG Blee.
GG Bleep definitely has the accuracy game going on much better than the ones previously though. 946 on stage 1.
Yeah, leaning a little bit more towards that kind of right side with stage 7 almost being higher than the first hybrid, but still a little bit lower. But you're starting to get more into like that consistent S rank range.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's like right now, so hopefully their accuracy game is going to be stepped up even more on the playoffs because again, the map pool is much easier, even easier than stage 1, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seat 79.
It's gonna be
Go, go, go.
66 on stage 2.
Oh, we're seeing better scores now, for sure. We're at top, the first 3 stages.
Yeah, I guess the late game kind of dragging them down a lot, but I guess it doesn't really matter when it comes to like being in playoffs, or you're gonna start seeing like these easier charts. So being able to score a lot higher on something like LN1, stage 2, Hybrid 1, stage 3, probably gonna be a lot more
Yeah.
important.
That's true. Best of luck to Bunk. Congrats on top 80. Moving on to seed 78. Gonna be seeing Ryan MC coming in.
Yeah, a lot of like kind of, yeah, they're basically all in the 70s range. Their lowest being 79, but it looks like S ranks on all of the first 5 qualifiers, maybe stage 6 and 7, but I'm not too sure.
Yes, those ones are like the ones that are standing out a little bit more, I guess. But overall, having the 70 ranges on all 8 stages is pretty consistent. So you gotta be careful of there's playing in playoffs, I guess.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they do with a bit of an easier pool, especially given that like they're able to kind of hold accuracy on like the hybrids and rice. But let's move on.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Stage
7-7. Lucky number is gonna be going towards Ushi.
81 on stage 1, but they have a pretty good 62 on stage 2 and a good 69 on stage 4.
Yeah, you see a lot more 900k or above scores in the first few stages now as we enter higher and higher seedings. You see stage 2 being the one standing out the most in terms of ranking. 902k at 62nd is going to be their strongest seeding in all the 8 stages. Again, the late game stages are the ones that they struggle the most because I mean skill cap does exist. Stage 7 and stage 8 are like impossible, so
Yeah, honestly, I'm interested to see how they do, because I mean, you could tell that their late game isn't there, like compared to some like the other seeds that we've been looking at, but their early game's a lot stronger. I mean, especially with that 62 that we pointed out earlier. I'm interested to see how they do.
yeah, for sure. With that out of the way, seat 76. Let's take a look at size, maybe?
Sykes-Diff? Not too sure.
Maybe. Try to pronounce name challenge. Anyways, do you see? Oh, that stage 1 score is
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, you're starting to get into like near 99 territory.
This could even be a 99% if it's an
Yeah.
FC. Getting top 64, 63 there.
I mean, we have an 80 on Hybrid 1, Stage 3, but other than that, it's nicely in that kind of like 70s, like low 70s range.
Yeah, that's kind of more equal on the side of the later stages as well. It's their stage 1 that they're really standing out on. So maybe their playoffs accuracy, their accuracy in playoffs could be even higher. So looking forward to see you perform, bro.
Yeah.
Moving on to seed 75 then.
Kunk?
Queen Q? Queen Q. I'm calling you
yeah,
Queen Q now.
Yeah, 71 on stage 4 and 66 on stage 7.
Yeah, this is that one's probably the most standing out one. 66 being the one that's only top 70 across all the 8 stages. Everything else they're having that 70 rank range there. Den's Drum Stream is actually the one that's giving them the most of the highest rank on, so I don't know if they can survive early game. Their early game isn't too bad. 930, 914 on stage 1 and 3 respectively, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they do. I mean, being able to be really well-rounded is certainly very important when it comes to just being able to do like overall difficulties, but when you're in like a bit of an early round, might not be too useful. And then again, being really well-rounded is the most important thing you could do in a tournament like this one, where it's not based off points, but rather your score.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because if you are a very biased player, you might lose a lot of points in your skill set that you're not good at.
Yeah, but let's move on to seed 74, Shoto.
Shoto gonna be the one that's having the most consistency on the first 4 stages, and especially stage 4 with 65th there.
61 on stage 6.
Oh wait, oh yeah, stage 6 as well. I couldn't see that one, but
Yeah,
a
I mean,
more
overall looks like
well-rounded one, I
S-ranks,
guess.
besides maybe stage 8.
7 and 8, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, overall they do
It's
look
like-
quite strong.
Yeah. There's more well-rounded scores. Their accuracy is not too bad. Maybe their stage 2 is taking to them just a little bit less confident on the LN side, but all things considered, scores are pretty consistent throughout. So
Yeah. Interested to see how they do. They do seem a bit well-rounded, which, like we pointed out earlier, is going to be really important in a tournament like this one, especially.
yep.
Well, let's move on.
So,
PC
73rd gonna be
Davin.
Davin
61 on
10.
stage 4.
55th on stage 7.
Oh, I didn't
is
even
probably
see
the
that.
one that's standing out. Yeah. Just out of nowhere, their late game rise is really solid. It seems 55th there.
Yeah, they seem pretty physical overall. I guess the only thing that might hold them back in a playoff setting is just the fact that their late game is stronger than their earlier game. But if they're able to, I guess, maybe channel in some combo, could maybe be in their favor.
Yeah, combo game does matter here. Even if the map gets a little bit easier, accuracy is there. But of course, if you can't even combo in the first place, your accuracy wouldn't matter too much.
Yeah.
So
it's always a good
having
combo.
that
Both
ability is important. Yeah.
But let's move on.
Speed 72. Let's go.
Mero.
Mero.
60 on stage 2. Seems like their lowest.
Yeah, this is other than stage 4, their scores are more consistent throughout. Maybe stage 7 they are a little bit lower as well, but that one is the most physical one, so understandable. But yeah, the first 3 stages all being above 900k is very commendable. Seat 60 and 61 on on stage 2 and 3. The LN hybrid side accuracy game wise, they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, they seem really well-rounded. So I'm very, very excited to see how they do when it comes to playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. Seat 71 it is.
This is probably going to be a name that some people might recognize. At least I recognize them. But it is going to be Blinded MM. The 8.
Yeah, Blinded gonna
1.
be... I think they have been recognizing like a little bit of a 4-digit tournament before.
Yeah, I
don't
feel like
remember
I
much,
did too.
but you can tell. You can tell their accuracy game has definitely stepped up quite a bit with 970k we're seeing now.
Yeah, definitely a huge spike. Definitely helping them out in terms of the seeding. Their stage 2 being quite well too, but you can kind of tell there's a bit of a difference in skill set when it comes to Rice and Ellen. But doing pretty decent on stage 3. And it looks like they S-rigged everything.
Definitely. Their late game stages are a little bit lacking the 800k, but still, the seeding wise, they're doing pretty solidly compared to their mid game stages as well. So, best of luck to Blinded.
Yeah, probably like one of those players that you don't want to sleep on, especially when it comes to playoffs.
Yeah. So, seed 70. Let's take a look at our top 70 contestant. Easily Shirokane.
61 on stage 2 and stage 5, with some pretty nice 64s on stage 6 and stage 8. And of course the 6-7 on stage 7.
Yep. They're comparatively, they have lower early game scores compared to other people. Their late game capability is definitely higher though.
Yeah, I mean, like, generally they do look really well-rounded, like, in every regard in a sense, which, it's a good thing, but when you have playoffs with an easier pool, it could be maybe a little bit of a curse.
Yeah, that's true, because again, playoffs is much easier, and if you don't have the accuracy game on, it can be a little bit of a tough situation for you, but best of luck regardless to Izumi. Seat 69. Let's take a look at who takes the 69th spot. Gonna be Minlux.
55 on stage 2 and 59 on stage 8, looking like a bit of a more Ellen hybrid player.
Yeah, for sure. Their Rice maps. Rice is on stage 1, 4, and 7. Yeah, those 3 they have the lowest ranking, but anything else they have top 70, if not top 60 even.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a more kind of Ellen biased player. I'm not too sure about hybrids. Maybe I guess that kind of in between. So it's gonna be really interesting because there's obviously gonna be those players who are a little bit more biased in terms of kind of rice. So that could be a potential advantage that they have.
Yeah, for sure. So, best of luck to Minlux then. With that out of the way, moving on to seed 68.
We're almost there, guys. Don't worry.
Yo.
It's gonna be egg potato.
One off. Anyways, egg potato. Ooh, we definitely can tell their accuracy is definitely up there now. 986k on stage 1.
Yeah, 38 on stage 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just their stage 2 and LN side might be tanking them a little bit late. Look at their stage 7 as well, 927k.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they do. I mean, especially in a setting where well-roundedness is going to pay off a lot, it might be a bit scary for them.
Yeah, so their rice is definitely much higher. Their rice game can definitely be very scary. So, but their LNs is definitely their weakness, so players, you can take note of that, I guess. But yeah.
It's the time everyone's been waiting for.
Woo!
Stage 67.
Yeah, 6-7.
Flips.
Okay, I'm
Shows
sorry.
through.
Gonna see a more. They have the early game stuff again. Stage 1 having 53rd there.
Yeah, I guess being a little bit more rice oriented. Although I'm not really too sure. I mean, their scores look overall kind of consistent, but stage 2 stands out a little bit on the lower side. And stage 8, which doesn't matter too much, I guess, in this context.
Yeah, but their rice is like slightly above, whereas their LN's maybe at like 60 to 70 kind of placements. So that was intentional, by the way. But anyways, seed 66.
It's going to be Speedy Charizard.
Speedy Charizard gonna be having more well-rounded scores now. All the top 5s, first 4 stages having about 900k, whereas on the last 4 stages it's gonna be still almost around half, around 850k average maybe.
Yeah. Overall, they do look pretty good. A little bit better in terms of stage 1, just given the 968k, but definitely not being a player to kind of sleep on. They definitely do have quite a bit of potential when it comes to maybe these earlier rounds. Just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, best of luck. Hopefully you can do well in playoffs, and let's move on.
MGC Osu.
MGC gonna be having
52.
53rd and 52nd on the LNs. So you can tell a little bit of a bias on the LN side, whereas their rice is a little bit lower as well as their hybrid at 60th to 70th.
Yeah, definitely having some nice scores. A little bit more well-rounded in terms of like early game. You can kind of see the 954k and then 930k on stage 2, stage 3. So it's definitely something to watch out for.
That's true. So best of luck to them. See how they perform in playoffs. Then moving on to our top 64 player now. Seat 64 is gonna be
Random.
39
on stage 2.
Kind of rare to see a 3-digit in seat 64, but can tell their early game on LN side is definitely high up there.
Might be like the 7K player.
Oh yeah, that's true. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess from here you can kind of tell a lot of people struggled with stage 2. If not even 960k is this high.
Yeah, stage 2 being it's another one of those very gimmicky, unconventional patterns that players new to tournaments are gonna be very not comfortable at them. You just have to play enough tournament style LNs to be more consistent at it, and for the lower side of things in seeding, they might not have that grasp just yet, so I guess this can be a good learning experience for them. But 958 on stage 2 is too not too bad regardless.
Yeah, that could be a bit scary, especially given the like the higher 27 and above play, and they're not on the low end, so they could put up a really good fight against whoever they are with.
Yeah, for sure. So best of luck to Random. Gonna be moving on to seat 63. Gonna be Ziquits.
47 on stage 3. They look pretty well rounded. I guess their LN being a little bit on the weaker side, and their late game Rice.
Yeah, it's like they're more control. I guess stage 3 is what the Jack oriented hybrid.
Yeah.
So like the kind of finger control they have is definitely high up there, alongside with stage 4 and stage 1. Their accuracy scores there are also pretty similar compared to their stage 3. Despite the ranking being lower, their scores are still pretty similar. So I think their finger control is pretty solid.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely someone to, I guess, kind of watch out for. But let's move on to seed 62, which it's gonna be another name. It's gonna be a name I haven't seen in a while, honestly. Era Ya.
Oh, we have Ya here as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
52 on stage 2, 54 on stage 8, and 57 on stage 1, with a 59 on stage 5.
Yeah, oh, I should say Ya. They got top 60 on 4 of the maps, and can tell their early game and late game hybrid is definitely up there as well. Stage 5 and stage 8 both being the hybrid maps, having top 60 there is pretty crazy.
Yeah, gonna be interesting to see how he does. I haven't seen him in a really long time when it comes to tournaments, so I'm excited to see them play again.
Yeah, agree. Let's go, Ya. Moving on though to 6-1.
6-1, 6-1.
61, gonna be C to U.
49 on stage 6.
Oh, this is definitely a late game player, it seems.
Yeah, 49, 60, 55 in comparison to like their early game. I mean, the mid game is good too.
Yeah, their mid game is pretty consistent for top 60 on the last 5 stages from stage 4 to 8. The early first 3 stages though, gonna be tanking them just a little bit. Stage 3 and stage 2 having 71st, whereas their stage 1 gonna be having 64th. So early game might be a little bit lower, but doesn't mean their accuracy isn't there.
Yeah, just gonna have to kind of wait and see how they do in playoffs. Gonna be a bit of a scary match for them though, I would assume. But I guess we could move on to seed 60.
Top 60 is
Pure
gonna go
Sparkles.
to Pure Sparkles.
52 on stage 7 and stage 1. Some pretty nice scores. Oh, 47 on stage 4. Oh my god.
Oh, wait, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good, actually. Their Rise capability is definitely up there compared to their LNs. 977, 9749, 897, having top 52 at least on the Rise maps. Their LN hybrids might be taking them just a little bit, but still. Their Rise skill can definitely get them to somewhere.
Yeah, definitely gonna be an interesting player to see in playoffs, just given the kind of discrepancy between the Rice and LN, but I don't have any doubts that they're able to pull off some pretty good scores when it comes to playoffs.
Yep. So, best of luck to you, Pure Sparkles. Moving on to 59.
Top
59 gonna be Mayu Tuna.
44 on stage 2.
Mayu definitely has that LN capability going there. LN is definitely much more standing out compared to their Rice or Hybrid, say. Their stage 1 is not too bad. Their stage 8 is also top 60, but it's definitely not as standing out as much as their LNs at 44th on stage 2.
Yeah, definitely a player to look out for, especially just given that their LN can be really scary. And when you're in a bit of an early game setting, sometimes that small LN advantage is all that matters.
Yeah, that's so true. LN accuracy is always just like this. You have to get that little squeeze of accuracy going. Even just a little bit higher, you can be rewarded by quite a lot. So, best of luck to Mayu. Seed 58. Ooh, gonna be
PM.
Tension PM. Gonna be having another good score on stage 2, but it's even better. What's even better is their stage 4 at 39th.
Oh yeah. Taking a bit on the late game, but they make up for it easily in that early game. I mean, it's basically really well-rounded.
Yes, on the early game side of things, just stage 1, maybe they choked one miss or two getting 67th there, but stage 2 to 4, both having top 50, 45th, 49, and 39 respectively, they are definitely up there on the accuracy game, early to mid game side of things. They definitely have that consistency going.
Yeah, definitely gonna be a player to watch out for in playoffs, especially as like we're starting to get into the areas where people are gonna be able to see their matchups if they've been kind of paying attention.
Definitely, so best of luck to Trend PM. Going to be moving on to seat 57.
Winton Chan.
I do recognize
Yeah.
Winton from a 5-digit tournament like in TSC.
Yeah, they did also originally play in the tournament before this one that I hosted, RST. So it's definitely a name I recognize, and 37 on stage 3.
Yeah, their early game capability is definitely up there. Their late game is taking them a little bit though, but in the playoff context, their early game is definitely quite strong to compete.
Yeah, really scary person to go against in playoffs, especially given that like they're basically in that middle area. So someone who's a little bit higher might just have a bit of a bias in like maybe Rice per se, and they might be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, definitely. So, looking forward to see you perform, Winton. Moving on to seat 56 now. We're gonna be seeing who is gonna be
Yodi.
the one. Yodi.
32 on stage 1 with a 990. I think this is our first 990 actually.
Yeah. Entering the more upper side of seedings. So 990k gonna be starting to be seen in a lot of the maps, and stage 1 obviously gonna be the first one to see. 990k is top 32. This is something to be looking forward to. Early games are do be like this. When you enter high accuracy scores, they're basically identical. So 990k being just 32nd is maybe normal, but it's also very scary.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those players to watch out for, but it is also gonna be a little bit scary for Yodi, just given that they do have a bit of a Rice bias. But it's still passable,
Yeah.
especially just given that the pools are gonna be a bit easier.
For sure, so best of luck to Yodi in playoffs. Moving on to seat 55. Gonna be seeing Limber coming in.
Some people might recognize him, I think. Very well known in the Argentinian community as well.
Can tell their late game is also very solid.
33.
33rd on stage 7, yeah.
That is scary.
Definitely. The early game might be a little bit tanking though, stage 2 having 73rd there, but on the outside of things they may not be enough, but their Rice is definitely up there and their Hybrid is not any worse.
Definitely a player to watch out for. Gonna be interesting to see how they do in playoffs. I mean, if they're able to kind of get past that, I could definitely see them putting up some good scores on some of these like more mid-game or later pools.
Definitely, so best luck to Limber. Moving on.
Josh Lin for seed 54. 37 on stage 4.
Gonna be seeing Yeah, stage 4 being the ones that stands out the most. Other than that, they have around 50th to 60th places, so the Rice stage 4 that's giving them their seed right now, but I think their early game could have been a little bit better. Stage 2 was a little bit low of a score, but even then, C58 is still pretty solid stuff. I'm more of a well-rounded player, with stage 4 being the one that stands out.
Yeah. Nothing too much to go over. This is pretty well-rounded in terms of their placements. Well, it might be a little bit worrying in terms of the ally. Let's move on to stage 52.
53rd, gonna be Kim's2.
They got some overall well-rounded player maybe. So their stage 1 definitely tanking them quite a bit.
Yeah, you can tell their stage 1 didn't have the best time there, maybe finding a couple misses there, but other than that, their other scores are pretty solid. Look at that, 46, 48 from stage 7 and 2 respectively. And almost everything else is top 60 other than stage 3 at 62nd, but often considered pretty well-rounded scores.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely have potential to make it past the playoffs.
Yeah, best of luck.
Move on to seed 52. Some people might recognize this name, especially if you're active in Qualifier and FFR, but it is going to be EB with a 36 on stage 1 and 29 on stage 4.
Yeah, this is like kind of the textbook definition of an early game Rise player. 987, 983 is very solid for early to mid game Rise like this. Their Ellens and hybrids though might be a little bit lackluster, but 950k on stage 3 is still commendable. Their late game stuff might be taking a little bit, but 943 on stage 7 also going to be bringing their seat up just a little bit.
Yeah, definitely a player to watch out for if you do face them, but there are some weaknesses in there to kind of pick at, so it's going to be interesting to see how they do. But let's move on to stage 51, and if you are in the tournament scene, you're going to recognize this name very easily.
And who could it possibly be?
None other than Uista.
Wow.
Yep, the Uista. Uista, you may know as, but it is going to be the MWC charter that maybe most of you have played from in the past, but they're going to be seed 51.
Yeah, the MWC map are going to be coming into play actually, so their scores are so well-rounded though. Look at their rankings, they don't even go above 7, like it's from 45th to 52nd, everything is practically the same rank.
Yeah, pretty well-rounded in terms of their placement. I guess a little bit stronger in the mid-game, although they did have a good stage 1, and their LN1 and Hybrid 1 scores are pretty good too.
Yeah, pretty consistent scores for in terms of ranking, and best of luck to Yu East. Actually, I haven't really seen him play, I only know his maps.
Yeah,
so.
I'm interested to see how they do. It's kind of
Yeah.
exciting to see them move.
For sure, but best of luck, top 50 time.
It is going to be Bunny Hop with a nice 43 on stage 8, 44, 45 stage 5 and 4, and then a 47 on stage 1.
This is another one of the players that have pretty similar rankings all across age stages. It's a little bit more dispersed compared to U East, but their highest being at 43rd, I think? Yeah, 43rd at the last stage, where as their lowest is only 56 at stage 2. So like, ranking wise, it's pretty similar. Their Ellens might be just a little bit behind, but I say just a little bit.
Yeah, not too far as we've seen from some other people.
Yes. But their Rise game is definitely up there though, so do look out for that part.
Well, moving on to the bottom 50 players, starting us off at 49 is going to be Wikion. some nice 40 scores in stage 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 8. Pretty well rounded in placements.
Sure. Yeah. It's just stage 7 that's bringing them down just a tiny bit in terms of ranking, 61st there. But other than that, almost top 50 on everything. It's just stage 4 having a 53rd.
Definitely gonna be interesting to see how they do given the kind of placement, but also just it does seem like they are able to probably combo that early game area, or it might just be some misses.
Definitely, so looking forward to see you perform on playoffs with Kion. So seat 48 it is. Let's go.
Net King sucks. 39. Oh, 39 on stage 1 and 25 on stage 4.
Oh, that's the rise from this player is absolutely crazy.
That's scary, especially for like 48. But it's just those LNs and hybrids bringing them down quite a bit. 39 on stage 7.
Yeah, 39 on stage 1 and 7 there, showing their rise being quite consistent and just good in general. Their early game is going to be quite scary, especially, but it's their LN or stage 2 that's putting them down just a little bit. 68th there, going to be their weakness probably, but their rise is definitely strong.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Moving on, stage 47 is going to be Spaghetti. 36 on stage 7.
Yeah, they're more late game oriented player, I guess. Stage 7 and 8 having 36 and 42nd respectively.
Yeah.
Their stage 1 might be the one that's tanking their seeding a little bit, but their stage 2 and 3 are also top 50.
Yeah, I mean, I guess being more in that kind of hybrid area, you can see the average seeding for a hybrid being 44.
Yeah, it's just their rise being the one that's below top 50, but even then, it's not too bad of a score. Their stage 7 is definitely compensating them for stage 1 that they tanked a little bit on. But yeah.
And going to seed 64 is going to be my GOAT, Zemekyu. 36 on stage 4. 40 on stage 6. And some nice 40 scores, a little bit lower on the first 2 stages.
Yeah, stage 4 definitely standing out for Zamiku here. And their stage 1 also doing pretty solid. Stage 6 is really surprising with their stage 2 score being lower than stage 6. It's interesting.
Oh yeah, I'm really interested to see how he does. I mean, I've been seeing them play on and off in tournaments, so it's not that they're inexperienced. I mean, they did play in MWC last year. Almost gonna be a year since MWC. It's almost that time.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how they do. They're a really solid player, and I mean, you can kind of see it through the scores. I mean, they have a 980k, but that's only 50 for stage 1. So it's not like they can't FC or hold accuracy.
Yeah, it's like they just have that rise consistency going on. So best of luck to Zamiku. Let's take a look at the 45th seed.
It's gonna be Stoneworm, another name that I think some people might be familiar with. 37th on stage 1, 38 on stage 6, and 40th on stage 8.
Yeah, definitely a more well-rounded player. Maybe some of their scores a little bit tanking it behind, maybe finding numerous misses on stage 4, but other than that, pretty solid stuff all things considered. Their LNs and accuracy game-wise is definitely much more consistent compared to their Rice late game stuff, so
yeah, I think
be looking forward to see them play.
I think they're a bit underseeded. I remember the referee for the lobby telling me that they were having a lot of issues with the Cooper. I think they even said it in the main server, and also him confirming it in the chat as well. So definitely someone to be really careful of, not a seed to trust.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of happens. You cannot have the best condition at all times when you're playing tournament matches, so
yeah, I think I've gone against
Stoneworm, man.
Very scary player.
Yeah. for sure.
Let's move on to 44. Verse
44 gonna be verse.
29 on stage 2.
Yeah, we're seeing more consistent high accuracy scores now. It's just their stage 1 somehow being only at 59 by getting 968k. It's a pretty solid score, but the ranking is not quite there. But their stage 2 to 3 are definitely the ones that are compensating them for it, alongside with stage 7 at 34th.
Yeah, definitely gonna be interesting to see how they do. I mean, looking like a bit of a more Ellen hybrid player, maybe? I mean, they have an average of 38 on the Ellen.
The Ellen is definitely standing out a lot more because of their, well, stage 2 being 29th. It's pretty solid stuff. Their stage 8, stage 7 might be a little bit lower, but still.
Yeah. Maybe their stage 1 being a bit of a choke, I would assume. Just given that it's a little bit
lower.
Could
be a miss.
Yeah.
Again, dumb patterning. You cannot promise yourself to not miss every time, so.
But let's move on to stage 43, which is a name I'm going to recognize. It is going to be Soul Knight. Was a number 16 on LN2.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
We are in for a knack player. Knight 6k on stage 2 is absolutely crazy. Knight 9k on stage 1 as well. Pretty solid stuff.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm scared to see how they do. I mean, like, 16 on stage 1? This is like the highest like seating placement we've seen so far. So it's gonna be someone who's able to take advantage of that Ellen hybrid area, especially given that their early game isn't too bad either.
Yeah, that's for sure. You remember, like, in playoffs, only the top 26 seed doesn't have to play, so like, him having a top 16, which is way lower than the number 26.
Yeah.
So he's basically probably better than almost all of the players in some of these kind of maps. So like,
be careful.
Yeah.
Whoever is up against him, be careful. We can move on to stage 42. Just some guy in 97.
I think I do recognize this player back in ASC and AC.
Yeah, I do recognize him quite a bit. 34th on stage 4, 42 on stage 3, some nice 40 scores as well. 35 on stage 2, so another person to be quite careful of. They do seem pretty well rounded, especially that early game.
Yeah, more well-rounded side, especially on the early games, like you said. Their stage 7 is also pretty good as well at 35th, but maybe their late game hybrids are taking them just a little bit. And stage 1, I guess, but stage 1's competition is way too fierce. You can't really do much about that.
Yeah. I wouldn't really downplay it as much as like maybe like getting a lower seed on some of the other ones. So definitely be careful.
For sure.
Very well rounded.
Yeah, best of luck to just some guy. Moving on to seat 41.
It's gonna be your feet. Well, what a name.
Let's go.
Hey man,
Gonna be seeing them having top seeing them having top 40 on most of the stages.
31 on
except
stage
for
8.
1 and 3. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, pretty well rounded. I guess maybe the early game accuracy may be lacking a little bit, given that they're able to do quite well in the kind of mid-game, late game as well. But having a 36 average on the LN, so I guess something to be a bit wary of.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe they choked a little bit on stage 3 with 48th there, because stage 3 being more jack oriented, it's easy to drop misses there, so a little bit understandable on that part. But other than that, their scores are pretty solid, giving them almost top 40. So best of luck to Yuri feed.
Good. And moving on to our 40 seed. Do the Thing 12. 29 on stage 8.
Yeah, their thing is 29 on stage 8. Holy. Their late game scores are definitely standing out much higher compared to their early game.
Yeah, it's honestly, they're just gonna have to make it past the early game, and they could start to set a lot of like really good scores and make it a little bit far.
For sure. So best of luck. They have to get through playoffs, like you said. So if they can manage the accuracy game early on and they can survive until the later rounds, maybe they can put up quite a fight. So best of luck to do the thing. So top 40, 39th we go. Gonna be Hoshiteru. Deru.
Ooh, that average hybrid, 28 on stage 3, 25 on stage 5, and then some nice 30 scores as well.
Yeah, it's just their stage 4 that's tanking them just a little bit. 966k almost. But other than that, score-wise or ranking-wise, they're pretty consistently high.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really curious to see how they do. They have an average of 29 in the hybrids.
Yeah, you can see them being a little bit more dominant on that side of things, so...
Yeah. Honestly,
That's so
really
up to Hoshi.
interesting to see. I mean, you usually don't see someone who dominates the hybrids, of all things, the hybrids.
Hybrid main. Usually you're good at hybrid, you're also good at LNs.
Yeah.
I mean, their LN is still pretty solid.
Oh,
it's just hybrid is standing out much more, basically.
And C38.
38.
Sweet
Oh, gonna be super.
29 on stage 6 and stage 7, but 24 on stage 3. That's a near 990k, and a 990k on stage 1, almost 991.
Yeah, we see another 990 score coming in from Super on stage 1 and almost one on stage 3, maybe a little bit more 200s. I mean, a little bit less 200s, and that would have been 990k, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, 24th there is pretty solid.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a scary player, although in a way they're not well rounded, yet they're well rounded. I mean, they're able to play hybrids good, it's just the LMs.
Yeah,
I guess like the slower
LN
releases.
Their stage 2 is much lower than stage 6 again. What?
Yeah, I guess being one of those players who's a little bit more on the kind of like physical side, so not being too used to those like easier, slower LN coordination release files.
Slow but gimmick. What? Like, it's like half gimmicky. It's like
Yeah.
you have to be like trained for it. I guess stage 2. It's like best of luck to shoot. Gonna be moving on to seat 37. Gonna be Snow Saber?
Snow Sabre? Maybe? I'm not too sure.
Maybe.
17 on stage 3 was a 991.
that is good.
Oh my god.
We're getting into the top ones now. 991k.
Wow. On stage 3 of all of these charts?
Yeah. It's stage 3 is very hard to act just in general simply, but
They did
this
it.
player says, nah, I can't act this.
Yeah. I mean, their Ellen's also been really good. An average of 21 was 21. I mean, they have a 22 on stage 1 and 25 on stage 6. I guess the seeding of 21.
Yeah, it's the 21st seed. It's not. Yeah. Because I guess most people just gets one stage very high and then the other one being a little bit lower. Yeah. Their Rice is the one that's tanking them though.
Yeah, 53.
But the Allen hybrids are practically perfect. Like what?
50 a seed 53 on the Rice.
Yeah. This is a more of a biased player, I guess. Like the textbook Allen hybrid player that you would see.
I guess it's maybe that kind of late game area. Kind
That's
of taking
true.
them. That's what I would assume. At least in the Rice department.
Yeah. But with that out of the way, we're gonna move on to seat 36. CLLG gonna be. Oh, okay.
Nice.
Okay. Now we are just we're just trolling.
Yeah.
What is this bias now?
Yeah, 9 on stage 1 is not 9 is a 996, almost a 997. That's 9?
Yeah. Okay, bro. That's crazy.
I think some people will definitely recognize this name though.
Yeah, they are known to. I think I've seen them in AC, Attraction Cup, and now I think they joined for CYC as well. So
Number 12
their
on
Rise,
stage 7.
huh? Yeah, stage 7 is also the one that's standing out the most. The more simple Rice picks are definitely up there. Like, just don't pick Rice against this guy, I guess.
Yeah. I guess maybe a choke on stage 4, I would assume.
Probably. That one being more techy, it's understandable.
Yeah. But overall, some good scores as well on the other side. But the Rice definitely helping them a lot.
Yes, that's for sure. But should we move on to seed 35? Let's take a look.
Intercal. 14 on stage 4.
Why are we just so biased now? What the heck?
Yeah, we're getting into that range where people are going to start getting a little bit biased. Kind of lowering their seeding in terms of like overall. But 993 is 14 on a chart like that?
Yeah, this calls out for a lot of things in the future. Like, look at 993K for like a very techy Rice chart is such an impressive score, and it's not even top 10, but regardless, it's a very, very good score from Intercal here. Their Rice 1 is also very good. I mean, stage 1, actually, no, they're the same. 992K, 26 there. It may not be the highest rank there is, but 26, 992K is still very good. Their
Yeah. 992
LN and hybrid size. Yeah.
That's 26. I mean, we saw
Like,
near 997 was like 9. I know I shouldn't be as surprised, but oh my god, man. Yeah.
The
I'm
host is surprised. Can you believe it?
I'm really interested to see how they do. I mean, especially with the mid game being, I guess, pretty strong for them.
Yeah. Best of luck to Intercal. Moving on to seed 34. Gonna be Isuri Fanboy. I think I've recognized this name.
I
back in ASU.
definitely recognize this name.
Look at that accuracy game that they have is absolutely
17
crazy.
on stage
17.
2.
Yep.
This is such like an interesting like kind of scores to look at. I mean, you have like a bit of a bias in the LN, but I guess the Rice being a little bit more trickier for them. But also, I mean,
Yeah,
Rice is so
yeah.
competitive.
That's true. Rice has been really difficult, especially in like the early game of stage 1 and stage.
Yeah.
Stage 1 is very competitive, but the LN Hive is definitely carrying them through to this seed. So, best of luck.
And let's go to seed 33, which is going to be a name that I think people will recognize. It's a name that I'm starting to see a little bit more, but it is going to be Lasting Diarrhea.
Yeah.
18 on stage 3.
I'll be seeing another stage 3 player again.
Honestly, surprised to see
18
them
games.
with the script they have on stage 2. I think they tend to be really good when it comes to LN.
Maybe just a little bit too tricky for them, but
It could be. I mean,
maybe
27 on
unlucky
stage 6.
act drops, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's doing better on the hybrid side though.
That's true. Their hybrids are also very solid as well. It's like C25 overall. Their stage 8 might be a little bit lower compared to their stage 3, but their stage 3 definitely compensating for that fact. Their early game Rise, their Rise 1 and stage 7, those two maybe the ones that are tanking their overall seed just a tiny bit, but
Yeah, I mean,
all things
seed
considered.
40 on Rice.
yeah. Still not too bad for Lasting Diarrhea. Best of luck. Getting to top 32 now.
I think some people might recognize this name. I've seen them a few times, but it is going to be Qualifier. 17 on
I think I've heard this name.
4.
Yeah, their Rice is pretty solid if I remember. Their late game might not be there, but still. Stage 4 definitely the one that's giving them that seed they have.
Yeah, a little bit better when it comes to the hybrids, it seems, with a C26 for the hybrids overall. But they just have some pretty good scores. I guess their LN taking them a little bit in that late game jump stream pick.
Yeah. Just 56 on stage 7 is all they had. It's a little trough there, but other than that, their seats are pretty solid.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's move on to stage 31. BC1 C19. 19 on stage 7 with a 988k.
Yeah, definitely that one is the one standing out. Also, 99, almost 993k, 992.8 on stage 1 is 24th.
Yeah.
To let that sink in.
Yeah, I don't know. These race 1 scores are gonna get scary. I haven't seen. Keep in mind, I haven't seen the scores in detail. I know of the seeds, but I haven't looked too closely at it because I did want this to be a bit of a surprise for myself as well.
Yeah.
It's always fun to kind of unwrap these scores with everyone else.
You kind of look at like the diversity of each player's score on different maps. Like some of them are really good at say stage 7, some of them are not. Some of them are really good at stage 2, and some of them they already died on stage 2.
Yeah.
You kind of like differences make it very interesting to look at.
Oh yeah. Definitely a interesting player to see, and I'm very interested to see how they do in playoff, and especially if they get through playoffs and are able to kind of make it to that later stages where they seem to excel a little bit more.
Yup. So best of luck to BC1. Gonna be entering our top 30 contestant. Drum roll, please.
This is going to be a name that I think people are going to recognize, especially for leaderboards, but it's going to be none other than Peace with a 990 on stage 2, getting them 12.
This is a name that I think I look up to for a long time. The Peace having one of, if not like one of the best LNs there is, especially on the accuracy side. Look at that seed 12 and seed 13 on the other 2 LNs, and seed 11 overall.
Yeah, a really, really strong LN player, and someone to always be worried about when you get into these earlier game pools, especially for playoffs. 19th on Seagull as well. Tanking a little bit on that Rice area, but 20th on Gotcho as well.
Yes, it's just their Rice maybe a little bit lower, but other than that, very solid accuracies. I think players should be scared of this player because of their sheer consistency and strength on the LN side of things. It's gonna be a scary player to play against.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
moving on to C29 is going to be CRZ Miyako. Pretty well-rounded player overall, just that stage 2 tanking them just a little bit.
Do you recognize Miyako back in MWC when they're playing for Guatemala?
Yeah, I felt like I recognized this name. I just don't remember where, but I guess that connects the dots.
Yeah. I remember. Anyways, yeah, you can tell their Rice AC is definitely much higher compared to the LNs. The LNs is a little bit lower, but still 940 something K on both the LNs is still not the worst thing in the world, and their hybrids are also pretty consistent. 980 something.
Yeah, it's just that LN kind of taking them down a little bit with C26 on the Rice and C24 on the hybrids overall. So definitely something to be scary of. I guess it's just that kind of like hard release. Definitely not for everyone.
For sure, but best of luck to Miyako. Gonna move on to our seat 28. This is the second last player that will be the one who will be playing in the playoffs, by the way.
Yeah.
So 27 is gonna be the last one.
It's gonna be
So 28
to
is gonna
Danny.
be
18
to
on
Danny.
stage 5. It's a 979k.
Yeah, you can tell it's a little bit more well-rounded, but yeah, stage 5 being the one that stands out the most. 979k at 18th. Their stage 4 is their lowest, but 974 is still pretty solid.
Yeah, pretty well-rounded player overall. Just I guess have to work on that accuracy for like the LN side. But I mean, I think given like a 992k on stage 1 with a 976k on stage 2, I would say that's fairly balanced.
Yeah, for sure. So their accuracy game-wise definitely up there too. So them being the second highest seed player in playoffs gonna be a very scary individual to face against. But the first highest seed, that's gonna be the one playing in the playoffs.
Yeah, the final playoff player.
None other than
Rakumi
himself.
I think some people might recognize this name. I've been starting to recognize his name a little bit more in terms of tournaments, and I definitely know they've been starting to be a bit more active.
Yeah,
19th on stage 2.
They have played a lot more tournaments than before. So yeah, you can see their LN ACK and hybrid ACK is definitely very strong. Like I think 5k on stage 2 is definitely very solid stuff. Their late game might be just taking them the slightest bit, but other than that, it's pretty solid.
Yeah,
the
just
scores.
slightly. I mean, almost an average of almost like above a 960k average, which is really impressive, especially given how hard these pools were. Yeah, a really solid player who's been starting to get a lot better at this game, like immensely skill boosting. So I'm really excited to see how they do in this tournament. But unfortunately, they'll have to be playing playoffs. I guess unfortunately or fortunately, I guess it depends how you look at it. You get to play a little bit extra at least. Gives a little bit of practice.
Best of luck to Rakumi in the playoffs. And now the next one onwards, you guys can chill for the next weekend because you guys don't need to play playoffs. You guys are automatically in the bracket of round of 64.
Yeah, you guys get a
be
bye.
up 2 weeks later. Yeah.
You get a bye, so it gives some time to practice some other pools, I guess, more in that kind of mid-game range, late game, to prepare a little bit more for those specifically. But let's move on to C26. Dorada. 13th on stage 7.
Yeah, definitely a more well-rounded one, and stage 7 being the one that stands out the most. Maybe stage 5 is the one that they're taking a little bit as well as stage 8. But other than that, very solid textbook, solid score overall. 26 seed, just bailing out from the playoffs. Gonna be able to push through a lot of good accuracy scores on the early game side as well.
Yeah, and they'll have that chance of that. Given that they're automatically in the regular bracket, they won't be eliminated if they lose a match.
Yep.
So give some room.
The bracket, yeah, the bracket is double elimination. Anyways, top 25.
Yeah, this is gonna be a name that people definitely recognize, and also played in RST, and a name that's been starting to grow with their very, very good consistency is gonna be none other than the Dragon.
Yeah, the Dragon being quite consistent on the combo side of things, as far as I know, getting pretty well-rounded scores, especially on the late game side of things. 17th on both stage 6 and stage 8. Definitely their spotlight here.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how they do. I know they played last time and they were really consistent, and their consistency has only started to grow even more. So definitely someone you want to be careful of as you get on to the later stages. Although it does seem like they have a little bit of struggle with stage 7, but it is only a minor weakness that we see for now at least.
Yeah, stage 7 also being one of the most physical picks, I would say. If you're struggling on it, it's not the end of the road until, like, say, quarterfinals maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's roughly around quarterfinals difficulty, so definitely not something to worry about, for now at least. But let's move on to C24. This is also a name I think some people might recognize. I do recognize them from a few tournaments, but it is going to be Lucy, another Argentinian with a 994 on stage 7, giving them 11, and a 9949 on stage 1 with 14.
Yeah, as we move up the seeding list, you do recognize players time to time, almost all the time. Like, you can tell these kind of accuracies are more consistent, especially on the right side. Lucy definitely has that upper ground when it comes to right accuracy. Their hybrids might be the one taking them just a little bit, but still.
Yeah, I mean, C13 on the race.
Yeah, definitely standing out for that part.
Definitely someone to be quite wary of. especially in the race area. And I mean, they have good scores when it comes to the Ellens and hybrids as well. So it's not like they're a rice one trick. They definitely spent the time to learn these other skill sets that are so important when it comes to a tournament setting.
Yeah, I think in solo tournaments, especially like this one where the score gap does matter, I think being well-rounded is just the utmost important.
Yeah. But let's move on to C23, which is going to be another name that people are going to be a bit familiar with, I think. Maybe not too much in the tournament scene, but it is going to be Tavelkin, a very strong Rice player when it comes to late game. 16th on stage 7, 13th on stage 4, and 21st on stage 1 was that seed 14 on the Rice.
Yeah, a very profound, scary Rice player to be playing against with Tavelkin. Having 14th overall on the Rice side, it's their hybrid Ellens that may be taking them just a little bit, but even then, like their stage 5 and 8 are all 20-something, which is definitely commendable, alongside with the 23rd on stage 6. They are a Rice player, but it doesn't mean their Ellens are completely gone.
Yeah, it's just that kind of Ellen accuracy. I guess like in a similar way to Lucy, where they spend a little bit of time on the Ellens and hybrids, but I guess in this case, maybe a little bit of a more upper hand on the hybrids, but the Ellen's gonna give them a little bit more struggle when it comes to accuracy at least.
Yeah, it is just their stage 2 that's tanking their seating just a little bit, but seat 23 is pretty good stuff from Tavelkin. Best of luck. Gonna be moving on to seat 22.
Paper
22
plane.
seat gonna be paper plane.
2, number 8.
I do recognize this name. They have very good accuracy, and that does explain their stage 2 being at 8th place.
I don't recognize this name, but oh my god. C22 was the number 8?
Yeah, this is the Ellen Act player that I know. This is a very strong one. Maybe choking a little bit on the hybrid side and stage 6, but their stage 2 is like, wow. 9-1K is hard, man.
I'm really excited to see how they do. Definitely gonna be really scary on the Ellen side, especially later on.
Yeah. Very good stuff from Paper Plane here. I don't know why I can 9-1K this.
Yeah, it's such a hard chart. But let's move on to 21. 9 plus 10. It is going to be Jose, a name that I'm sure quite a bit of people recognize. 15th on stage 5, 16th on stage 6, and 18th on stage 8. I guess their stage 1 kind of holding them back a lot, and stage 4 for a little bit.
This looks like a very well-rounded player that unfortunately dropped a few misses on stage 1 and 4.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. But I mean, hey, they're able to score some pretty high scores, so I'm very excited to see how they do. Definitely have a lot of potential, especially since they get a bye from that playoffs, which means they don't have to focus too hard on like those earlier stages.
Yeah, that's true. So I think their accuracy is still up there. Their consistency is definitely still very strong. Unlucky misses do happen, but nonetheless, seat 21 is pretty good stuff from Jose.
Oh, yeah.
Best of luck. Seat 20.
Yeah, it is going to be another one of my goods. It is going to be Yuna. C20 was a 14th on stage 3, 16th on stage 4, and 19th on stage 6.
It's just another very textbook, well-rounded team. Not team, player, sorry.
Yeah.
There's no team here.
Yeah. It's just at stage 2, but I mean, when you see Mexico and Ellen, usually doesn't go together, but they've definitely put in a lot of work since last year, since they started playing tournaments, with MWC being their first one, was a 9926 on stage 3. I mean, that's impressive. Especially coming from someone from Mexico, where you don't see a lot of these like hybrid Ellen players. It's someone that you want to keep an eye out, and someone who has so much potential.
Yeah. Having 19 plays there on Ellen to stage 6 is definitely very strong. They're more well-rounded player, maybe, like you said, tanking the tiniest bit in the Ellens, but doing very good scores here from Yuna, my Angel Brandy. Moving on to seed 19, we're entering seeds that start with a 1. We're entering the top performances now.
Yeah, another one of the Mexican goats. It is going to be none other than Hacker Gamer with a 15th on stage 1, 18th on stage 6, and 19th on stage 8.
Yeah, you can tell another Mexican that, like you said, has that LN game going on stage 6. Maybe their stage 2 wasn't the best, but other than that, it's very solid. 20-something to top 20. Very well on the scores overall.
Yeah, another one of those players that is always fun to kind of watch and also play in RST. A very, very consistent player as well. I believe they've FC stage 8, so definitely someone to be careful of. And I mean, you could definitely tell that they've gotten so much better since they've started tournaments. I mean, being able to starting to 994 on stage 1, 990 on stage 3, and then some of these other scores getting more up in that like 99.5, 0.6 range, especially mid game to late game.
Definitely, I think they have so much potential on the more well-rounded accuracy game side of things, so best of luck to Hacker Gamer. Moving on to seed 18 now, getting closer and closer to the top.
Some dumb ET dude.
I think I recognize this name. I'm not too familiar with them, but
Yeah, I feel like I recognize this name. I just don't remember where from, but very well-rounded in
same.
placements.
you can tell they have like practically the same rank. It's their stage 2 and 3. That's like 3 ranks lower than their average rank, basically. Seat 18 there.
Yeah, definitely someone to be quite careful of, especially just given how well-rounded they are in terms of the kind of seed, the placements.
Yeah, this is a very well-rounded accuracy player. Their LNs, in terms of the score itself, maybe a little bit lower, but other than that, it's pretty solid stuff. So, best of luck to some dumb ET dude.
Yeah. And moving on to State 17, it is going to be none other than the Mexican goat himself, Darkichizer. 10th.
Oh, it's your teammate on AC.
Yeah, it's 10th on stage 5, 11th on the stage 6, 14th on the stage 7, and 12th on stage 8.
Look at that consistency on the final 4 stages. 10, 11, 14, and 12. I mean, what can I say? This is crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's just the stage 2 and stage 4 tanking them a little bit, but not by too much, honestly. I mean, the stage 4 being a pretty obvious choke, looking at their stats, so it's not that they are bad, it's just, you know, just kind of choking, especially with mini jacks, which Darkichizer tends to struggle a little bit with, so it does make a little bit of sense. And then obviously with stage 2, I mean, Mexican players aren't really known to play a lot of LN release, so it's not too much of a surprise to see being a little bit on the lower side. But I mean, obviously there's still it's still a decent score. A lot of progress is of course being made in the Mexican area to kind of get better at LN, so it's gonna be one of those scores to kind of look back on, maybe given like a week or a few weeks, and be like, yeah, I could beat this score now.
It is just their stage 4. Maybe unfortunately finding 1 or 2 misses there, but nonetheless, seat 17, very good stuff from Dark. So, top 16 now. We are going closer and closer. Who gets the seat 16 spot? It's gonna be Pizza Boy.
This is a name that I'm starting to see a little bit in tournaments. A bit of a new face when it comes to tournaments, so definitely not a unknown player. With 10th on stage 7, 12th on stage 4, and 15th on stage 6.
Yeah, their Rice component kind of stuff, accuracy-wise, is pretty solid. Like you said, 10th on stage 7, definitely their spotlight. Now like 5k and what, 260 dead jump string, like pretty crazy.
Yeah, especially with like a lot of the ultras. Definitely someone to be wary of in terms of consistency and Rice. Their LN hybrid's not being too bad either. I mean, 17th like 2 spots away from their Rice, and then 3 spots away for LN Hybrid. Definitely not a bad player. Pretty well rounded. Just have to work a little bit on the, I guess, hybrid LN app. They definitely are able to play the kind of like later game LN's hybrids.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, a more round to play overall. Best of luck to Pizza Boy round 64. Moving on to top 15.
This is
Top
gonna
15.
be an
This player is a.
yeah.
I actually didn't know that this player is playing. And when I saw his name, I was like, what? Why are you back?
Yeah, I mean, hey, we'll take it. I'm excited to see them play. I've worked with them for a tournament before. They're a really good 7 key player as well. It's gonna be none other than Oct 4.
Yeah, Oct 4.
Ace
Coming back in 4K.
Rank 8.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, really, when I said really good 7 key player, I really meant it.
This
Ace-
is crazy stuff.
Ace
Look
on
at that
stage
late game
6,
stuff.
Stage 6. And some pretty good scores overall. I guess just the Rice accuracy sinking a little bit for stage 1 and stage 4, but still really good.
Yeah, this is like the late game. I mean, the late game. One of the most consistent tournament players there was. Like, I remember Oct4 being an ASC1, dominating the scene. It was such a crazy sight to see, and they're gonna come back in Jast.
I'm excited to see them play.
Once again.
I'm so excited.
I am more than excited to see them play. Yeah.
I love seeing like these players like return, especially if it's been such a long time since they played in a tournament, or just like kind of just come back to play in general. Especially just because it's my tournament. It's fun to see these people come back play just for the sake of it.
Definitely. Out of the way, we're gonna move on to seat 14, who is also quite a traditional tournament player.
Oh yeah, I'm sure everyone will kind of recognize this name, but it is gonna be none other than J-Lai. 11th on stage 2, 3, 5, and 10th on stage 6.
Yeah, like you can tell, the most traditional textbook tournament player. Then, yeah, like it is stage 7 that might be tanking them the slightest. But
Yeah. They're an LN player though.
Yeah,
Their roots stem from LN, so it makes sense that they struggled a little bit. But I mean, like they almost have like a 990k average. It's just like those later stages.
Yeah, that's definitely true, but best of luck to J-Line. Moving on to seat 13, who is actually a good friend of mine that I just made recently. So
And also predicting their
let's take a look
seed,
at-
yellow.
Yep.
6 on stage 1 and stage 4, and then 4th on stage 7. Oh my god.
I think this is probably like the kind of situation where you have a very biased player on one of the skill sets. 997k on stage 1, and what is that? 997.6 on stage 7?
Yeah.
Hello?
I mean, they're not even that bad. They're like pretty well rounded, I would say. And 985k on stage 2, that's nothing to scoff at. And I mean, I guess they're stage 6, maybe dropping them down a little bit. But I mean, it could have just been like a chove.
Yeah, this is like one of the few players that you just don't pick Rice against, and even on the LNs you have to still be careful enough. Their stage 6 might be the one that's tanking them just a little bit, but other than that, it's a very difficult opponent to go against.
Yeah, and we can move on to C12, which is gonna be a player that I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with, and he has been skill boosting like crazy. Like, oh my god! But it's gonna be none.
Yeah, I've seen him.
None other
Like, what?
than Arrow. 11th
Yeah,
on
Arrow,
stage 1,
Arrow.
5th on stage 4, and 7th on stage 7, with a 9th on stage 8 as well.
Yeah, standing out on the hybrid and LN side stage. Actually, no, and Rice as well. You're just good at everything.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just that Ellen release, but I mean, I guess it makes sense. They're a bit of a more kind of like, they play a lot of the more like newer stuff in terms of tournaments, so they don't tend to play a lot of this like traditional Ellen, which is what stage 2 is basically is.
Stage 2 is not the kind of maps that you see nowadays normally in like say MWC or whatever tournament, but yeah, you can tell they're, other than that, their scores are just so good. Like stage 4 5th, stage 7 7th, and stage 8 9th. Like wow.
But let's move on to stage 11. Sorry, seed 11.
Yeah, I was wondering, you keep saying stage.
Yeah, it's
I
all
was
this
thinking
talking,
of
man.
reminding
It's
you
all,
or not.
it's all this like talking, man. But you know what? It's all good because it is gonna be Unitori, 7th on stage 2, 5th on stage 5, 6th on stage 6, and 5th on stage 8. A 989.
Yeah, and Unitori is
Oh my
one of the more profound LN hybrid players, and proven by the fact that they're seat 6 and 5 overall LN hybrids respectively.
I didn't even know he could
on
do
stage
this.
5. 989
On
on
stage-
stage 8 is 5th.
I didn't even know he could do this. That is a shock
Well,
to me.
He's crazy.
Yeah, he is
crazy.
crazy. I guess it's just the Rice tanking them, but I mean, it's not even that bad. A 987 on stage 4, 993, almost 994 on stage 1, and then stage 7 being a bit of a more choke point. But I mean, it's Rice jump stream. It's kind of just one of those things where you're able to do it perfectly, or you have quite a bit of trouble.
Stage 7 is those like 995 or 975 kind of situations. So
Yeah.
best of luck to Uni. So top 10 now, we're going up.
It's gonna be another player that I'm sure people are familiar with. I'm very familiar with them because I have to keep going against them in tournaments. But it is gonna be none other than Matcha Latte. 4th on stage 2, 8th on stage 3, 9th on stage 4 and 5.
Yeah, this is the textbook way around the player as well. Maybe their LN's a little bit lower, but other than that, look
It's
at
just
their
a
early
late
game
game.
act, man. Yeah, early game is immaculate, basically.
I mean, having a little bit of trouble on stage 6 and 8, but doing quite well on stage 7 still, so maybe a choke.
Possibly, but other than that, pretty solid stuff coming in from Matcha. Looking forward to see you play, buddy.
Yeah,
So,
quite a familiar face for me. I'm excited to see how they do.
yeah.
Moving on to our single-digit seeds now. Starting us off at number 9, it's going to be none other than Kloba, a very, very strong player. 5th on stage 1, 6th on stage 3, and 8th on stage 5, a 9917.
Yeah, stage 5, stage 1, stage 5, and stage 3 as well. They are the single-digit seeds that Global got. The 997, 995, 991. This is
Yeah.
crazy stuff already. Like, you can tell they have all the maps basically in their control, having above 980 on all of them.
Oh yeah, definitely a very, very scary player. I mean, they've started to show their potential a lot, especially in like leaderboards.
Yeah, they are so well-rounded. Maybe they're still a little bit on the upper hand for a set of Rice, but not really. Their hybrid is
Yeah.
actually even better.
Yeah, it's just that stage 2, which I mean, it happens.
Yeah, just a little bit, it's fine. But best of luck with Lobot. Gonna be moving on to our 8th seed. Gonna be
It's gonna be
seeing
Newson.
Newson.
3rd on stage 1 and stage 3, 6th on stage 2, and 8th on stage 4. Very,
Yeah,
very
we're seeing a
strong
lot
early
more
game.
top 10s in some of the maps.
Yeah, really, really strong early game player. I do know their late game starts to fall off a little bit, so it's gonna be interesting how they do in a tournament like this one, where it is gonna get quite physical. I mean, you can kind of see it in like the last 3 stages, maybe even like the last 4.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe like a miss or two, or like
Yeah.
a quick choke on stage 6 and 7. But
Yeah, but really
Fine,
strong
dog.
early game.
Yeah, early game, it's very hard to beat him. But
On.
out of the way, Seed 7.
It is going to
Gonna
be
be
Vayne.
Vayne.
Almost top 10s all across the board. Really well rounded. 8th, 10th, 12th, 11th, 12th, 9th, 8th, 7th.
Yeah, very consistent ranking overall. As far as the score, look at that, 996 on stage 1, and then the lowest they have is 987 on stage 8.
I mean, that makes sense, honestly. I mean, it is one of the harder
Yeah.
charts, but still, it's really impressive to almost 990 everything.
Definitely getting 97k on stage 8 is one of the craziest things I've seen. Like, that's only number 7? Like, what?
Yeah. I mean, they have a Rice seed of 8, Ellen seed of 8, and then a hybrid seed of 10, so definitely not a player that you want to go against, just given how well-rounded they are. They're very versatile.
Yeah, being well-rounded in solo tournaments is so advantageous, and Vayne taking full advantage of that, taking seat 7 here, but moving on to our 6th seed now.
It is going to be Mini Egg. Pretty well-rounded. 12th on stage 1, 5th on stage 2 and 3, as well as 6th, 7th on stage 5, and a 9th on stage 7.
Yeah, a lot more top 10s once again. The lowest rank they have is 14th on the last stage, but other than that, just so consistent scores throughout. It's just stage 8 that's having 980k. Everything else is above 990. What?
Yeah, it's one of those players who's really good when it comes to, like, the early mid-game, although from what I've noticed, they do tend to have a little bit of trouble when it comes to consistency. So I guess it is something to be wary of.
Yeah, that's true. So, still overall though, doing an exceptional job in this qualifier pool. Best of luck to Miniac. Top 5.
Yes.
Wow, we are reaching the top of the hill, and we are gonna be seeing
It's going to be Senzawa
Zawa.
or Choco.
He's a
7th on stage 4, 6th on stage 5, 7, and 8, and then 4th on stage 6.
look at the later side of the stages. Like, everything is so consistent. What?
Yeah, pretty strong player. Interested to see how they do, especially given, like, they are quite strong in terms of consistency. So once they get to late game, it's definitely going to be quite scary to face against them, as if they aren't scary enough in the early game as well.
Yeah, somehow 996.6 is 10th and 989.9 is 14 on the first 2 stages, but nonetheless, they are very solid accuracy scores. Like, overall, they just have done a very exceptional job at holding as perfect of an accuracy as they can. So, you are rewarded seat 5.
Yeah, I mean,
Best
you
of
have
luck
to
to
assume
Senzawa.
that they FC everything.
Yeah, like, you cannot really afford to choke when you're at like top 3 seed or something. So, just before top 3 seed, we're gonna be seeing the 4th seed first.
5th seed. Oh wait, no, 4th seed. Oops. Yeah.
4, yeah.
Flowerful.
Oopsie.
4th on stage 4,
Flowerful.
5. 3rd on stage 6 and 8th. A 991 on stage 8. 990s across the board, actually.
Yeah, everything is above 990 and everything is top 10.
Yeah.
Look at that. Crazy.
And basically the perfect well-rounded player. 4th on Rice seeding, 5th on Ellen seeding, and then 4th on the hybrid seeding. I mean, their lowest being a 9th.
Yeah, this is very scary stuff. Lowest seed is 9. Like, bro.
Yeah. But let's move on to our top 3. Oh my god, it's gonna be
top
so funny.
3.
I remember
Man,
people were
like-
predicting this guy's seed. It's gonna be none other than Mad, actually. Number 1 on stage 4, and 2nd on stage 5, with a 3 on stage 2 and 7th, and 4th on stage 1, stage 3, and stage 8. Their lowest being a 7th on stage 6.
Their L1 act is like ever so slightly lower somehow. I don't know how, but with an average rank of 3.5, Nat is gonna be taking the first seed here. Seed 3 on all 3 skill sets. A little bit crazy to think about, but
Yeah.
yeah, their consistency is just immaculate. Look at that stage 4, bro. Like, you can't, why are we getting 998k in
Right?
Rice Tech, bro? Like,
Higher than
hello?
stage 1, hello? I guess, man.
This cannot be real.
Yeah, you do you. I mean, he's basically C3 on all skill sets. Like
What are
yeah.
we smoking? Like, bro. Yeah,
Yeah, but let's
that
move
is
on
seat 3.
to our second seed, which honestly, I mean, I know they were good, but oh my god, I swear they got better. But it is gonna be Satora coming very close to that seed 1. I think it's just stage 4. No, stage 5 is the one that I think made them not get stage 1. The averages between seed 1 and seed 2 are just really close that they might as well be the same.
Yeah, Satora having 1.9 rank average. Gonna take the first spot on 2 maps, stage 1 and stage 6 respectively. And everything else they have second or third.
Yeah.
Like, bro. Like 998 again on stage 4. It's just Nat got a little bit higher for 998, and then like 998 on stage 7 as well. Like, how can you act jump stream like this?
Yeah, honestly, I'm really excited to see how they do. But let's move on to stage 1, which I'm sure a lot of people will know who it is. But it is going to be none other than Konkawa, who, like you said, it is going to be a difference of 1.5 and 1.9 in average rank. So basically a 0.4 difference. And like I said, it's basically just a difference of Konkawa and Satora basically switching that 3 spot, although a little bit of more number 1s on Konkawa's side.
Yeah. I think I think it's literally just one more rank 1. I think. Maybe, I think it's just one more rank 1 that Konkawa has, and instead Satora had 1 less, and instead it was rank 2. So Konkawa gonna be taking the crown in qualifiers with a 998 second place on stage 1.
Their lowest score is a 994. Almost a 994.
Yeah, the lowest score is stage 6. What are we doing?
And a 999 on stage 7. Hello.
I have no comments on his stage 7. Like that's just not legal.
Yeah, especially on 260.
Like 260 dens jump stream. I've seen Epic Man put like 1 hand trails there, and Konkawa's like, nah, they are pretty piss easy. So yeah, here's 999 for you. Like what?
Yeah, I don't know what to say, but I mean, hey, it's not a complete seed 1 across everything, so there's potential. There's potential for it to be an upset in the later rounds. We'll just kind of have to wait and see.
Yeah, this is one of the more interesting seeding results you can find, because you kind of can tell like the diversity between skill sets of each player. Some of them might be more biased towards Rise. One of them might be more biased on the L1s, but specifically cannot do Stage 2, for example. It's very interesting.
Yeah, but that is gonna conclude our results. Quite a bit long, but you know, finally made it.
Yeah, this is like, yeah, how long has it been? Like 105 minutes? I mean, 93 players,
Yeah.
all in one go, in one sitting.
But I guess there's not really much to say now. After sitting here for so long.
The O2 screen is ready already. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been waiting, but
So, what is the plan?
I'm not too sure where Lot is. I do know you have to go soon, so I guess feel free to leave, and I guess Lot will join whenever he is ready.
Yeah, I think this is basically it about me. I was asked to join for seeding results, so I did, and I had a lot of fun talking about it. So yeah.
Thank you, Poppy, of course, for joining us in this almost 2-hour results.
Yapping for more than 100 minutes. Let's go. We'll have to see it. But yeah, that's gonna be out me. I don't know. When lot comes, That's it.
Yeah, we'll get to there.
But yeah, I'll see you guys around. Lock in on commentating. Showcase. Showcase. Yeah.
Yeah. See you, Poppy.
I'll see. Bye bye.
Oh, there he goes.
Speaking of which. Alright.
Alright, see you, Poppy. And welcome in, Lot.
I just finished my. I apologize for the kind of way too late.
It's fine.
Did Adrian Laser qualify?
Adrian Laser qualified.
Let's go! Thank God! This is the best day ever of my life. I don't care that I get below 7 points for my numerical analysis exam. This is the best day of my life. Adrian Laser qualified. I can't be happy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we're winning.
Map pool.
Yeah, let's start off with race 1. I guess before we go to it, let's talk over the pool format. We're gonna have 5 rice, 3 LNs, 3 hybrids. So starting us off, rice 1, it is gonna be Running in the Night by Hylato. This might be a chart some people recognize.
I know Hylato is pretty prominent in the 20 mapping scene. Previously, he is quite the Allen moving force, but now we can see him mapping much more rice maps, especially speed and jump streams. This one is one particular good example of what kind of single stream speed picks he maps.
Yeah, and I would probably say this is probably one of the more like comfortable speed charts out there, which at least for me, it's really hard to find these like speed charts that fit really nicely but also play very smoothly, and this is going to be one of those exceptions. This was featured last year. I believe it was last year in GBC Autumn. And you kind of see the stream sections starting to kind of pick up here, but overall, it's going to be kind of one of those more like consistent streams, so it's going to be a bit more stamina intensive for a stream pick at least.
I'd say this pick is a more like conventional approach to a speed map. Not conventional in like a 20 skill set, more so to a player's POV, because there is a lot of comfortable movement. The mini jacks are not too intrusive. The patterns look very intuitive as well, and there's also one thing that is the patterns are the single streams are not constant. They're not long runs of single streams. They're occasionally broken up by 1/6 light jump streams and the likes. So the movement feels more mixed overall, and this is permissive in early game because usually you're aiming for accuracy, and such segments are not intrusive, but they actually help make your experience easier in matches.
Yeah, it's just going to be one of those picks that I think might be played quite often just because of like that comfortable nature, especially for like the lower seeds. But like I mentioned earlier, maybe the stamina is going to be a factor to kind of keep out for. I mean, it's basically like 2 minutes 30 of full streams. You do get like those like breaks in between, as you mentioned, but once it kind of like starts, there's not really too much of a break in terms of just like tapping.
Yeah, overall, it's a very constant map. I would say this kind of acts like a overall general consistency map, just because it has a bit more than single streams, but you do you. You can probably consider the next pick as your consistency pick, be the jump stream and stream map.
Yeah, our jump stream stamina pick. It is gonna be Utakata, which probably gonna be familiar for a lot of people, especially if you've played in tournaments like more than like 5 years ago, I would say.
I know 4DM4 have this in their round 16 map pool. I forgot what rate though.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but I know this was used quite a bit back then, and we are bringing it back one more time at least in a modern day setting at 218 BPM. But it is also going to be quite lengthy, like you mentioned. This is going to be our more kind of conventional consistency pick, and of course, stamina will be a huge factor in a pick like this. But you do get a break in between.
This one is going to be, at least for early game, especially in playoffs, you should absolutely not miss. So on top of a consistency map, this also feels much more of a nerf test than anything, because everything feels so constant. You may lose track of time, and the ever-increasing combo may also increase your fear of losing it all with one miss, because it's Ozumania, it's score V2. One miss is like 8,000 points lost. That would be equivalent to 10-200, which is just unfair, but what can we do?
Yeah, I mean, especially in a pick like this one, where like as we kind of go by, it starts to get a little bit more tricky. The density picks up a little bit. You start to notice these O's trails start to be a lot more common, and by the time you're like getting near the break, you start to feel that stamina in sections where you usually probably wouldn't feel them, but just because of how constant it is, the stamina factor is going to be quite heavy. And even if you're playing this for like accuracy, if you try to hold on to that accuracy or just raise it a little bit too hard, that stamina factor really starts to kick in, especially within this section where you know you are right before the break.
This map does feature a lot of very semi-comfortable patterning. As with any shoegazer maps, of course, I think I've said this tens of times before. Every time a shoegazer map is in a map pool I commentate for, a mix of two-handed trills, one-handed trills, mid-length anchors, and a very moderate usage of doubles. Very any triples at all.
Yeah.
Except for this.
Yeah.
It's like a very
Yeah, but like I said earlier, you do get a break section in between that really, really long chorus, and then right before this final chorus, and you get a break, but you're still having that kind of cost of playing the earlier sections where if you're trying to hold on to the accuracy too hard, that stamina is gonna start to kick in, even in like a bit of a lighter section like this where it's just chord jack. You still have to focus on accuracy in this last like 20%.
Your best strat might probably be to not hit everything with 100% accuracy, maybe relax your hands a little bit before you get ready for this final stretch of around 45 seconds. Although I would say that the earlier segment is way longer than this one, so this part is probably not as challenging. But whatever you do, you should moderate the kind of strain that you're inducing on your hands.
Yeah, the main kind of tricky part of this ending section is just going to be the fact that you've already played essentially like 3 minutes of pure jump stream.
Yeah, and the core jack section in between does not give you a proper break, so all the tiredness is still going to carry over.
Yeah. But let's move on to our first custom of this pool. It is going to be our abrasive tech pick, Terminal 11, Bullets Over Brainwaves by Davix himself, and the replay by him as well.
The true Terminal 11 lover.
It's not a tournament without Terminal 11 in a tech pick.
I think this mapper, Davix 11, you may see him not just as a mapper, but also a pretty avid commenter below various maps,
Yeah.
especially Terminal 11 ones. In fact, you can see him commentating under the cold storage,
Yeah.
the NWC custom, yes. And well, true to this, here is his first custom of the tournament, a Tournament 11 map, with very light and elegant mapping. But this lightness does not mean it's easy. In fact, the minimalist design of the crates and bursts can really trip you up because they're not constant at all. They're very stop and go, but in like a miniature kind of level.
Yeah, I mean, especially with like these like bursts and graces, like you said, I mean, the difficulty is gonna come from holding onto that accuracy because, like you mentioned, it's not this constant motion, which you rarely see in tech picks usually. So it makes it even harder to hold accuracy on this. It might not be physical like Rice 2 or Rice 1 per se, and it might not be as lengthy, cutting it pretty short. But just the fact that this pick isn't constant just makes it harder to hold accuracy on.
The map is already over. It's not that long, but you can see there's no breaks at all. The song is very constant with its sound design, and that just naturally leads to a very stressful experience where you have to keep yourself alert for the entire course of 2 minutes to not drop any 200s, or else you're just screwed.
Yeah.
1 200 is like 40 300s.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, look at the combo, 1,265. That's not a lot in a tournament setting.
Oh yeah, speaking of low combo, do not miss.
Yeah.
You probably know why already.
Yeah. Let's move on to Rice 4, which is going to be our dump pick. It is going to be Dilf Repellent. It is going to be the collab difficulty by Nai and myself.
This map is in a qualified state.
Yeah, we do have a different version uploaded for the OD. You can probably see the OD is a bit lower than what you usually expect. There is an OD8 version uploaded already, so just make sure to play the correct one.
Yeah, so in both song choice and the mapping, there is a noticeable difference. It's probably not going to be like a difference between Jack and Stream, but you can see the patterns are more streamlined here, and the song does support such patterns because there's pretty long runs of like growly synths, but they're not like excessively long to the point you map it as single stream. It is long enough to be like bursts that feel smooth enough to play, but there's just stop and go here. You can still see the gaps between the burst and also mini jacks.
Yeah, it's not like as like technical to hold accuracy on compared to like the last pick, but it still has like these tricky segments, and you still have to play this carefully. You get a little bit of a break here as well compared to the last pick, so it won't be as constant. We're getting into this kind of later chorus here, kind of the same thing that we've been seeing earlier on.
Yeah, I do notice that the map is a bit inner column centered. Not really noticeable, but usually just through the 4-note trills that start with a double every time there is like a kick, like third.
Yeah. But that is going to conclude our dump pick. Gonna be
Congratulations, Mario, for getting top 1 in the map.
on Scorby 2 as well.
Hooray! Anyways, Rice 5.
This is going to be our second custom of this pool. It is going to be a Livium chart. It's going to be Summer Fling by Leroy as well. Although this is going to be a bit of a newer song, so it's not going to have the same style as the last one. This is going to be our mixed pick.
really hope we do not judge like the overusage of an artist or whatever here, because I believe the two Leroy songs here have been distinguished very well. Like they don't feel the same.
Yeah, I mean, like the last
Which
one was so
also-
much louder.
Yeah. It also leads to two very different designs. Of course, the first difference here is the BPM. The first, the repellent has a faster tone, and therefore it leads to more like hectic patterns. This one feels more constant, and the low BPM also leads to more anchory and somewhat like speed jacky patterns. But they're not like for speed jack. They're embedded into like there's like bursts and streams embedded into the pattern, so it does stay true to the name of Rise 5.
Yeah, and you have like this huge variety of patterns. Like you have those like streamy bursts. You have a lot of these like I guess like mini chord jack sections with the anchors, and then these like kind of jump streamy motions. It's a really unique pick. I would absolutely recommend this being played at least once. Not really just for the sake of practice, but just because it's such a fun pick.
Every map here is fun because we
Exactly.
try our best to deliver.
Yeah, this one has like this really smooth like gliding transition. I don't really know how to describe it so well, but it just feels so intuitive.
Oh yeah, I've noticed this map has been going on for quite a while. What's the length of this song again?
I think it's like 3 to 4 minutes. Let me check.
Okay, it's 4 minutes and 2 seconds long if
Yeah.
we count the length of the audio file.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of the longer picks, and you'll kind of start to see that as a mixed pick, this will progressively get a little bit harder in terms of scaling compared to the other picks, and it's also gonna be on the longer side.
You could probably consider this the premature boss pick,
Yeah,
purely because it's a bit long and it's mixed. I mean, everyone just defaults to the word boss whenever they see long and mixed.
yeah, you won't really see that kind of like bossy nature too much right now, at least, just because it's still early game. We didn't want to make playoffs difficulty too like wide in terms of range, so it's still going to be like around the full difficulty, but that kind of stamina factor is also going to take a bit of a toll.
Yeah. Adding on top of that, the patterns are very constant. Like you see a lot of long stretches of mixed patterning. I would say it divides the song by two, so it's like 90 seconds each and 2 segments of that. So yes, it is very stamina draining.
Yeah,
Although if you are against someone way weaker than you in terms of rice, then this is probably the ideal pick. Just
Yeah.
make sure you protect it at the expense of a lower score gain, of course.
yeah. Well, let's move on to our Ellen pool now. We've finished off the race, so let's move on to Ellen. It's going to be Ellen 1, which is going to be a huge throwback for a lot of people, I believe. It is going to be honest, I don't like being social by stability. This was featured in Fortium 23.
Back then, stability was the Ellen coronation staple, and the song genre is probably a bit dislikable for many people back then because they're not used to like hyperpop stuff like this.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's hyperpop or something, but
Not
you
too
get my
sure.
idea.
Yeah.
Generally, stability Ellen coordination maps are very high tempo and they rely on one path rhythm more. So it kind of creates this loaded feeling where you gotta make sure to time both the on-feed releases and off-feed releases well, and there are plenty of them fixed within the same second.
Yeah, I think a pick like this one also lands really well in something like playoffs, especially in comparison to stage 2, where you have like this like old style Ellen coordination, which is basically what you're gonna get here, where you have like a lot of these like I guess like inversey patterns. So if you performed really good on stage 2, this is gonna be one of those picks that you really want to go for. The failure control needed on this is really high in comparison to like a lot of these other picks in the pool.
It's just generally pseudo-inverse. Inverse is associated with Ellen density, but early game in usages like this, where it's not constantly inverse, it may feel more like coordination, especially when you have gaps that are not constant and still relies on that little bit of awareness that you have while playing.
Yeah, it's honestly one of like the kind of more like fun LN picks, like just in general, not even just like in a pool setting, but like it's just such a fun pick to play like from time to time. It's like one of the reasons I wanted to pull something like this, and also just for the fact that it's kind of one of those picks that's gone like under the radar.
Hooray! And that is going to be your LN1. Despite everything, I think this map is still very popular. I know many tournament veterans will look back on this very fondly, and we decided to bring it here just as a nostalgia pick.
And let's move on to LN2, which usually we would say this is our density pick, but it's actually our stamina pick. Some people might know, but with LN2, our intention is actually making this more stamina focused to kind of cater more towards like LN physicality that you typically don't see in a tournament setting.
So the difference is that a density map will probably be more focused on physicality, so the map will be a bit short. But stamina picks will, yes, it's definitely going to be long. And the patterns may not be conventionally like physical, like at density, Ellen density maps, but there will be a much bigger usage of inverse patterns. So there will be a bit more coordination involved than the usual density maps.
Yeah, it's a bit of a kind of experimenty pick in general, which you'll kind of see it within these pools. Like there's going to be quite a bit of experimentation, and LN2 is going to be a huge pinpoint to experimentation, where we're focusing more on trying to bring out LN's physicality in the sense that you usually don't see it, because usually with LN picks, you never see them go past like 3 minutes until like late game, and usually that's with LN1.
Yep. Still ongoing with the streams, no breaks at all. Despite this being called a break, just purely because it has a lower intensity, you still cannot really stretch your hands and probably give your muscles a break. It's very tough here.
Yeah, like you still get the strain even within the break, so you're not completely free. But at the same time, usually with like these like slower picks, the releases tend to be a little bit more trickier, but you can kind of see them being a little bit more simplified. But at the expense of that, you also get OD8, so just be a little bit careful with that.
Some mixed starting right here. I believe this is 1/5 streamed.
Yeah, it did
Yeah,
get,
just for 1/5 whatever.
it's not for too long, and it shouldn't be like too difficult at least, especially just given like the kind of low BPM that this is with 165, so maybe a little bit lower than you would expect in a regular LN2 pick, but like we said, this is more focused on holding on to that physicality, that kind of stamina component that you would usually see in Race 2, but transfer it over to LN2. And I mean, you can kind of see it, we're literally getting to 5,000 combo by the end of this.
Holy hell. Almost 5,000 combo.
Yeah, in playoffs.
Well, I don't know whether LN1 or LN2 is more ban-based. Or actually LN3, I don't know.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, these LN picks are like so catered to just really good LN players. So, I mean, it's an LN pick. You would expect that. But let's move on to our third custom, which is going to be by Mike Lick himself. It is going to be Beats, the cut
Oh yeah,
version.
before we play this, I do want to clarify. Lepix is the founder of Megarex, so by default his songs are not allowed. But apparently, specifically Fruity Town is released by the Dojin label DJGenki.net
Yeah.
on the various artists' album Starship's Toy Box, and therefore it does not belong to Megarex. This song is allowed.
Yeah, thankfully.
So anyways,
Let's move on to LN3. This is going to be our tech pick.
yep. Quite the throwback to Solo Score Rush, where Mike Leake was also in charge of playoff LN3. However, this is quite a different approach, much more dumpy, and there's also many shields to emphasize the downbeats as well.
Yeah, honestly, I would kind of call this the abrasive tech of LN. Where usually you see LN3s being this kind of more like dumpy freeform, but I would probably consider this like abrasive tech in the sense that Rice 3 is abrasive tech and Rice 4 is dump.
This map contrasts perfectly with all the previous picks. LN1 and LN2 are fairly straightforward and they don't rely on dump a lot. This one is everything else. Dump, very quick cut releases, and also fast shields. The thing about shields is that in early game it forces you to keep your finger held after hitting a mini jack. Usually when you hit a mini jack you have the impulse to just release because of the strain, but here you have to hold your key a little bit more. So it kind of falls into the finger control kind of category, but we do make sure that the shields in LN maps are not going to be too fast in late game.
Yeah, that's our main goal. We don't really want a quote-unquote shield-based LN that we usually see. So you're gonna see more of these like techie LNs. And if I remember right, a pick like this one is a bit of a more experimental pick for my click, trying to change their style just a little bit. So might not be something most people are used to, but it is a welcome surprise.
Yeah, very, very solid map as always. I think Mike Leake's style has solidified over the years, and his aesthetics are definitely noticeable. Much more intuitive as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it is Mike Leake. I mean, I'm sure everyone's familiar with at least one of their charts. They even have one going for load right now. So make sure to vote yes on that. But with that out of the way, let's move on to hybrids. And starting us off at hybrid 1 is going to be Usagi Flap. This is going to be our stream-based hybrid.
I know what you're thinking. Do not say it.
Do not say it. You will be banned.
Yes. We do not condone problematic behavior here. Rah!
Yeah, but this is going to be one of the more simpler hybrids. Like I said, it's going to focus more on streams. Basically a mixture of LN2 and Rice 2. So you won't expect too much from this. I guess in a sense you could maybe call this your quote-unquote generic hybrid.
It is a generic hybrid, yes. Most people kind of just call hybrid 1 a generic hybrid anyways, and in the scope of this map pool, this is the most generic map, although it's definitely not completely autopilot. There is still some burst and offbeat releases here and there. Like you can see the swing section that just played in the second half of the chorus. That's going to happen again, by the way.
Yeah, it's not too bad. You still have like some of these like stranger releases as you mentioned, but this is probably going to be like one of those like picks that's kind of played quite often, I would say, at least in terms of like scoring, just because that score is going to matter a lot, especially when you have like these like pseudo inverse sections.
The main difficulty of this map is going to be somewhat Ellen density, I would say. Because early game, I think Ellen difficulty is going to be more prevalent than Rise. Especially you can see a lot of weird releases, 1/3, 1/6, etc.
Yeah, and then you kind of get into this ending section, which isn't really too much, just kind of area to build up that accuracy, but of course not completely free, as you do still have some of these trickier LMs.
Yeah. And that's it for your hybrid ones. You can treat this as a more raw skill oriented L1-2 if you like. I mean, you gotta up your L1 if you wanna win anyways, so here you go.
Yeah, but moving on to hybrid 2, as we alluded to earlier, we don't want quote-unquote LN shields, so instead it's a shield hybrid, where this is going to focus on that basic premises of LN shields, but in a bit of a more better setting, of course.
Yeah, a more appropriate place to test shield, where LN and Rice can coexist together. This is going to be Oxalic Acid's Curiosity, a Toromaru song. Toromaru is very well known for their low mid BPM jazz songs with a lot of emphasis on drums and pianos. So it's going to be a mix of Rice for drums and Ellens for the instrumentals, as always. A very well-fitting song for such a shooty hybrid.
Yeah, it's one of those songs that I really enjoy playing through, just because you could kind of feel the intention in the charts as well. It just feels really smooth. You don't have too many firsts to worry about as well, so it's I guess in a way it's also another kind of like consistent pick, but you still have these snap changes in the jacks.
Yeah, it kind of feels similar to Stage 3, where the map is mostly consistent, but you still have the occasional like outlier patterns. But I don't think they're super intrusive per se. They kind of follow a similar movement to the actual shoots themselves.
Yeah, all those transitions play very smoothly, so you're able to fully focus on these like patterns that the chart is testing, these shields of course, so it adds a bit of comfortability, and it just also makes this chart a lot more fun to play since you have one objective in mind.
Yeah. All wins shall be deserved.
Exactly.
Also, God bless MKTC. I believe this is a Maldi-Key Team Cup custom map. 2025, I think?
Yeah, I don't remember where from. I remember Chu sent it to me, and I remember seeing that it was a qualifier, I believe, so I guess maybe a throwback for a few players or people keeping track of these other tournaments.
Yeah, mainly Chinese players.
Yeah.
I believe Maldi is very popular in China, so reusing maps from MKTC might be the map building strat if your tournament is not super Chinese centric.
Yeah, but I guess it also adds a bit of kind of like that kind of nostalgic where we had with LN1, but with some other people.
Yeah.
But let's move
Many
on.
maps should not be like just a one-use map. You gotta reuse a map sometimes to bring more attention to it, especially with something so fun.
Yeah. And speaking of bringing attention to a throwback, it's gonna be CyberConnect, the expert difficulty. Honestly, I feel like this is a pick that a lot of people have encountered at least once, but this is gonna be our technical hybrid, our final regular pick of the pool.
CyberConnect, I believe, has been featured in 4DM24, Route 32 as Hybrid 2, the tech-based hybrid, and also in the Qualifier official tournament 2024 as well. I believe in Week 2 Hybrid 2. Of course, a tech hybrid. We love our kind of gay tech hybrid.
Yeah, and this is probably going to act a little bit different compared to your usual techie hybrids, where you kind of expect everything at once, but it's a little bit more kind of like flowy, in the sense that you gotta get like these like small breaks between next pattern. While very small, it's still appreciated.
It's like stop and go,
Yeah.
somewhat.
And it also just helps to contrast from the other two hybrids, which are very, very consistent overall, with Hybrid 2 probably being the most consistent, and Hybrid 1 probably being in that mid-range, and then this one being in that very, very low end.
Yeah. You gotta also be prepared for each iterations when the patterns do get hard, because every time the map ups their density, it's like a different motif entirely. Like you can see a lot of switch ups
Yeah.
and patterning themes.
Yeah, it also just allows for the chart to also test Ellen and Rice individually. You did have those kind of like solo Rice sections, and then right here you start to see a little bit more of those kind of solo Ellen sections, and then of course like this combined section right here.
Yeah, I believe the first half is like Rice and second half is Ellen, and then this outro has a bit of an Ellen emphasis, but that middle part and the ending gonna throw you back to the Rice curve.
Yeah, and that is going to conclude the regular pool, as we only have one pick left. The tiebreaker slash final scoring, whichever you like to call it.
Yep.
It is going to be my Black Gray, and honestly, this
The
chart's
foster
been
child.
this chart's
The
been through
foster
so
child.
much.
The foster child.
Oh god. I guess let's talk about this before we go
Yeah.
into it. This was originally made for the other tournament I'm hosting right now, Mexico Mania tournament, the first iteration, for round of 16 originally, as we had the pool easier, and then we switched it to round of 32, where we shifted round of 16 to round of 32, where we ended up not having enough players for round of 32, which left this pick up in the air, and we had the playoffs / round 128 not finished by the time I still had this open, so I decided why not save some time and use this opportunity to use Black Gray, where we almost again didn't use it because of signups.
What? This is why y'all should keep your promise. Please play once you sign up.
Yeah.
Be responsible.
Yeah, it is going to be the full version of this song. Some people might recognize this from MWC 2021, maybe? Or I think 2021.
Yeah, I think it was 2021. It was Grand Finals Hybrid. I think Hybrid 1
Yeah.
or Hybrid 1 or Hybrid 2. I know Hybrid 3 was an Abraxos map.
Yeah. And the other version of Black Gray is very Jack focused. I guess in a modern day setting it would be a bit of a more Jack based hybrid, although I think it's very Rice biased, so maybe not. But this is going to focus on tech, which you can kind of already see it start to pile up in this beginning section.
Yeah, the first 1 minute-ish of the map is kind of like a prelude to everything else, which is going to be your main course, of course. And I believe no tiebreaker philosophy is centered around tech-based patterning.
Yeah.
I hope I get this right, but I believe the intention is that tech-based hybrids are better than generic hybrids, because it also has just general ability to play abrasive and kind of in control these sections like this. You can see here the patterns are very, very abrasive. Basically a hybrid 3, but longer.
Yeah.
More all-rounded, of course.
Yeah, I mean, this one is going to play very differently from Gacho. I mean, especially given that this is so old. I think I finished this back in like November, December maybe? I think December actually. And you'll kind of see it be a little bit maybe outdated in terms of like my current stuff, but you'll still see a lot of these like patterns that I still tend to use. And especially with these kind of like burst focused visuals. But you do get a bit of a break here.
mini jacks.
Everyone loves mini jacks.
Except Rift Toyu.
Yeah.
Rift Toyu when shoots.
Yeah, but you get this slight break before going back into a build-up, where it's gonna kind of act as like this like streamy hybrid section right here.
Yeah, I believe the second half of the song is going to be. It has quite a shift in percussion usage. Like the first half is like, and then here the second half is like 1 2 1 2. So it's going to be much more beatly. You can see a lot of like structured double usage, and the patterns are going to be much more motif-based as well.
Yeah, I mean, you still have this like techie section over here, but you'll notice as we kind of move on to like the later sections, you're gonna see a lot of different like patterns start to be used. As we start to begin here in this, I guess, kind of solo area, you have this like very visual-centric L and density section with some of these bursts to represent some of these like off sounds.
So it is not a tire curve without a pure LN section to compensate for the right feel of the other pattern so far. Like this one.
Oh yeah, this section is so fun to play. Yeah, you kind of get this like more jackier section over here with some more control being needed as well. So you kind of get like that multitude skill set section. And then right before ending things off.
Yep. Your first final scoring map, starting off with a foster child.
It's so sad because let me see when I upload. I uploaded this in April. Like 2 months ago, I uploaded this, and you know we expected to use this much earlier on. And then this almost just ended up not being used at all, so finally able to use it somewhere. I guess your pseudo custom? I don't know.
Hooray for Black Bray, you are adopted now. You now have a family, a house to go back to. You belong.
Yeah, but that is gonna conclude qualifier results and playoff showcases. I've been here for a good 2 hours and 30 minutes.
I'm sorry for going late. This may happen again, depending on my availability in the summer, because I hate being in university.
Yeah, that's okay. It happens. But everything else will be posted shortly after. Might have to wait a little bit, just because it is quite big for me, so I won't be able to do all of it, at least for right now. But the pools will be uploaded. I believe everything's been uploaded now, so you'll be able to download and practice it pretty soon, at least.
Yeah. I will be making a post to compile the link of all maps, but for now, oh yeah, one more thing, the endbets are probably not going to be available for a long time because of the recent API limitations.
I guess
The best I can do for you is a map pack.
I mean, I have one just because I needed to put it up here. So.
GG.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess our business is done for today.
So we'll see you guys. I guess this weekend actually. Have fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully you enjoy.
We're only going to have 1 week of matchups because of the not very plentiful number of players signing up. I mean, if you have below, I think 2 weeks playoff is only for like 128 players, and since we have like 90-ish, even 96 is not enough. And you can see SSR only has 1 week for playoff, and this is also the case here. So, yeah. I guess that is all that we have to say for this week. Enjoy the map pool, good luck with your matches, and enjoy the jury background in the stream.
Yeah, we'll be seeing you. But until next time, goodbye. And thank you a lot for commentating with me as always.
I'm so gay.